here, Lisa Hazelgrove. We are here talking about the starter, and you saw this in the title, which is, I want to get healthy, but what's your but?
Dot, dot, dot. What's after the dot, dot, dot?
Right. So stay tuned. We are going to be covering a couple of things in this series, in this episode, and you'll definitely want to sit down. There's maybe one that's on your list, and if there's not one that we covered today that's on your list, I want to encourage you to leave your comments in the posting here, whether you're seeing this on YouTube or on Facebook. Reach out to us, connect.
Yes.
We'd love to cover it in a future episode. We want to do a couple of different things like this and really provide what you're looking for to help you along your health and fitness and wellness journey.
So feedback is imperative that, we're not talking about maybe something that you're not interested in or not really answering your questions that you have. So that's what this is all about, is answering those questions.
Yes, yes. We're not here to look at ourselves on camera. We're here for you.
No,
We're here for that, right?
I'm not here for that today.
Hi. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what we're here today, right?
All right, so number one, we've got, I don't know where to start. I want to get healthy, but Lisa, I don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start. Well, and the first thing that came to my mind is that we're all a work in progress. Don't
Totally true.
Don't overthink this. I think we've talked about that. Don't, let that, I guess, overwhelm you, really, and go, it's too much, there's so much out there. I'm always under the ilk of, let's start where you are.
Yeah.
Because we are that work in progress, and something can change in me from day to day. Like I said, just a few years older than you.
Well, all of us, too. I mean, we are continuously, one of the things, I was journaling this morning, one of the things that is constant with us is change.
It is.
We're different today than we were yesterday, and tomorrow will be different again. So, it's figuring out, okay, start precisely where you are.
Yeah.
Versus.
And my aha in my meditation or prayer this morning was that I'm going to be in a state of continual healing from now on till my days on earth are no more.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So healing versus...
yes, and I'm always trying to spin it so that it's not a negative, but that I am a work in progress, that I'm always continuing to heal, that something new may come up, and I'm not going to be overwhelmed by that. I'm not going to be depressed by that, because I understand that that is part of life, and I am prepared now to work with that, to work with myself first.
Yeah. I think not everyone tuning in knows about kind of what you've been going through and dealing with. Can you share with us a little bit?
Well, I can. Actually, they don't know. This has been very private for me, that I am going through a health challenge, and I have an autoimmune issue.
Yeah. This
autoimmune issue is all about my thyroid. And I've been working with several research information. I've been working with healers to help to reverse that, to heal that. Mm-hmm. It has been days where I could not even get out of bed. I dragged myself out of bed, and the next thing you know, I'm in a chair and I'm just vegging, because there's nothing, I can't even think straight. I'm in so much discomfort and a lot of inflammation. So I wake up in pain. And so I understand, or I can empathize with people that say, I think I'm jumping ahead, but I'm already in pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll cover that one.
But yeah, so that's where I am at right now, is working on my own health challenges, and it's a learning process for me. And I've already been, basically told by God that, you need to share this, and you need to write about this, because everybody needs to have that opportunity to heal. And maybe what I'm going through might be what somebody else might be going through. And if not, let me work with you and see how we can utilize my resources to help you to heal.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times, I mean, if someone is suffering from that level of fatigue, they might not even know what could possibly be wrong, so I think that's very helpful.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to where we were, that not to minimize that at all,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I mean,
It's
you've made such progress.
It's been a huge struggle.
Yeah.
And every day something new may arise. What's the tipping point here that I can get to and be excited about this little milestone that I've hit, that I have energy and I can actually do, and you know what's been absolutely wonderful that I used to hate to do? I've been able to do housework, which I haven't been able to do for the last 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
I've been able to actually run the vacuum. Something simple as that has been a challenge for me.
Yeah. Wow. So if you don't know where to start, number one, I have on my list too, don't make it complicated. I think a lot of times that we can make things a whole lot bigger in our head, like, okay, I want to get healthier, but it's got to be this total overhaul of life, lifestyle, everything that I eat. I better clean out the pantry. Like, we know.
Shocking food.
Everybody knows what goes on with the whole, health movement, right? Everybody's, awake and paying attention to this.
My husband thought I'd lost it that day. He came home. He said, "What are you doing?"
You did that.
He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting rid of processed food." He's like, "Okay." And he walked away going, "She's really lost it."
That's way more ballsy than me. Mine is that it's been a process of over the past 8 years now.
Yeah.
I started learning. I mean, this was whenever, oh gosh, what was it that was popular? That sweetener, agave. Agave just became popular.
Agave.
I remember trying to transition different things like that, and I was just like, oh well, I'll eat healthier and I'll make healthier food for me and my significant other, blah 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 blah. And I'm sure a year from now my habits might be tweaked even more, whatever. But it's a process, and you just start from precisely where you're at today, and don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel like you need to do everything at once.
No,
okay,
that doesn't work.
yes, yes. So number 2, and you touched on this, which is it doesn't feel good, or I already hurt.
And I'll never forget 14 years ago when I started my wellness journey that the nurse practitioner was saying, "Ms. Hazelgrove, you have osteopenia and you need to exercise." My comment was, "But I already hurt." So exercise was not on the horizon at that moment because I, didn't want more pain. So, let's look at, again, there's someone like me at my age that most people I talk to already hurt. And, let's start with that, but let's understand that we're moving at a much slower pace than someone your age. Okay, because she's potentially half my age, basically. But using tools like magnets is one of the things that changed my life because of the inflammation in my body. And I thought if we can somehow cool that down, then maybe I can have less pain and I can go ahead and start gradually implementing exercise again. And that's exactly what I did. But we'll find the best tool for you. Maybe it's something like the emotion code that I do, and there could be an emotion or a trapped emotion in the body that is actually causing that discomfort in the first place.
Right, because those emotions kind of translate into physical. What's going on in here comes out in here.
It becomes on a physical level because it is on a cellular level.
Yeah.
And the cells generate energy. They also generate pain, especially, someone who has a lot of problems with their feet. And, the nerves are actually, that they literally hurt, and so looking at where that pain is coming from, depending on where it's coming from, we can target that, use tools, use systems in place to help us figure out or maybe understand the best place to start with you. And I also refer to the Chinese Ayurvedic body organ clock. And we look at that time and what time are we in right now. I'm having discomfort. Well, what I do is I use that chart with my clients, and I tell them to pay attention to the time on that clock when you notice discomfort. And that way we know it's that particular organ that is trying to heal, and it doesn't have the tools that it needs to heal. So we can look at certain nutritional food. For my thyroid, for example, oatmeal, because it has selenium in it, is very good for my thyroid, although I am doing the gluten-free, so gluten doesn't, work well with the thyroid. And understanding how important selenium is to our bodies. And you're not getting it in your food because North America is very low in this trace mineral.
Got it.
Not because of over-farming, but because that's just the way the earth cooled, and they're like veins of gold. We got the short end of the straw, and we didn't get as much as some of the other continents did. So, and especially someone who may have heart issues, selenium is huge. You sweat out that last little bit of selenium, your heart will stop. It's that important. And, for some reason, it's not even looked at in cardiovascular medicine. It is in Chinese Ayurvedic medicine. So we'll look at that time. Maybe if someone has, like I said before, has a heart issue, they shouldn't be exercising at that time of day when the heart is actually trying to repair.
Right.
So
I know we've talked about that.
We have. Yeah. We can look at, scheduling a different time for you to be doing the exercise.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that ties into with, one of the biggest things that I can really encourage anybody watching this is to say, talk to a coach. Like, if there is somebody, whether it's one of us, if it's somebody in your circle, like, that you've thought about or that resonates with you or has a message that you're like, yeah, I should reach out to them at some point, like, have a conversation. Just reach out. Because, one, there's no obligation just to do that. And two, you might find, like, maybe just that conversation gives you that little something that you need to help you get moving. Or maybe that conversation really spurs, like, that understanding of a value of that relationship, and that maybe you really could use somebody coming alongside you and saying, hey, I got your back. Let's do this together. We're going to figure it out. I've got my tools over here and my experience and what I've been working on. And you know what? We can totally do this together. So I just encourage you to reach out to a coach that you resonate with, that it sounds good, take the time to do that. Number 3, we have, it's too hard. Yeah. And this is one that I hear a lot because I feel like I'm the trainer that takes the pressure off. Like we were talking about before, like actually both of us, we're not the people who are going to like do a crazy boot camp. No. This is not CrossFit. No. I don't think those things are the most intelligent anyway because they are putting the body under so much, and you said it, stress.
They're creating a stress response in the body.
Yeah.
And if my body, which it is, already is in a chronic state of stress or fight or flight, I'm certainly not going to introduce a program that is going to create more stress on top of that, stress upon stress upon stress. And I've been there, not boot camp, but I've been there in a chronic state of stress. And I have had to make huge changes in my life and in my schedule because I will never go back to that schedule I had before. Yeah. It literally almost kills me.
That's huge. I mean, don't we have enough things that are stressful in our life?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So basically I got the, word change your lifestyle about stress. Yeah. Because that was the biggest proponent in my, I guess my health challenge was I was under a huge amount of stress. Yeah. And
yeah, it's huge. Stress is highly detrimental to our health in so many areas, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of the above. So finding ways that we can manage those things better is super helpful. And finding ways to not make them worse is really helpful too.
Yeah.
I really like to, I'm a very process-oriented person. So anytime somebody comes to me and says like, you know, I want to get healthier, I want to work out, I want to increase my fitness, but, you know, it's too hard. It just seems like this big monster, and it kind of goes up, it kind of also ties into like, I don't know where to start. And it's like, well, let's back up a little bit. Like, I like to ask, what is your ideal like picture of health and wellness and fitness? Like, what does that look like? What does it feel like? I don't know, what does it taste like all of those things. And how do we get some type of a game plan to get there? And it's not going to be tomorrow.
No.
Like, it is going to be a continual process. And here's the thing, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you know what? It's not even a marathon. It's the rest of your life. Like, it's lifestyle. It's something that doesn't end.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the problems with like different fad diets and fad fitness programs that are like, do this for 90 days. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have done the 90-day program. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You pop it in at home and you sweat your butt off. You stress your body out.
You know, my first question is, what happens after the 90 days?
That's exactly. What happens after 90 days? You don't want to move because you hate it.
Your body's going, thank you.
Thank you, I'm done.
Appreciate that. now you're going to pay for that.
I was using exercise as a coping mechanism. A couple years ago, I went through a breakup, divorce, all that kind of stuff, and I ran 5 marathons over the course of 2 years.
Wow.
And did 2 triathlons and did 2 ultra marathons within that time period. And you know what? That was 2012 to 2015. My body, at my age, I was 25 at the time.
Exactly.
At my age said, stop. Okay, we're done. We're done. Take a break. I ran, I kind of worked out, but like, I really had to come back to myself and say, okay, all right, I'm sorry. Take care of you. Like,
there's that old adage, Dr. Phil, how's that working for you?
Yeah,
you know? Right. Well, that's where I heard it from. Anyway.
We all learned.
I don't know if he said it or not, but yeah,
he might have made it popular.
He did. For me, he did. But, but it is really just taking those baby steps. And I always say just a piece of the pie at a time. And what I like to do is do a journal. And what I was thinking about before, and I almost lost that train of thought, was you said to picture where you want to be. I even have some of my clients do a vision board.
I like that. Yeah.
And if they need help with that, I help them with that because I've actually done a training with that. And the questions to ask and to figure out what you want your life to look like.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that and you don't know where you want to go, then that might be the place to start, is with a vision board to create that lifestyle that you have to throw out that impossible word. You have to throw out the can't word.
Yes.
Just remove the T.
It all starts here.
Yeah, remove the cross. It's already been done. So just in your mind, what do you want to look like? What does that look like for you? I will tell you, that was my biggest challenge or hurdle to get over. I didn't know what I wanted. It took me quite a while to figure out what, and I'm 60 years old, right? So it took me a lot of meditation, I should say, more than just a few. Meditation, sitting down, and really getting to know myself. And I will tell you, most of that's come to me this year. Most of that it really has come to me this year because I'm listening and I'm being quiet.
You had to be.
I had to be quiet. Yeah, I really didn't have a choice. It was like, either shut up, Lisa, or, my body's going to make me just, shut up.
Yeah.
And listen, and really listen to what it's telling me. And the thing about the food is it's, the muscle testing or what we call jet kinesiology, and I don't know if people have seen it before, but I do this a lot, and I've been doing this for years. I was trained in it. So I can ask the questions of what my body needs, what it doesn't need. It really helps with my shopping. Yeah. And I do teach people how to use it. And I say I'm always available by text. If not right away, just give me a few minutes, I'll get back to you. But finding out what the body actually needs and doesn't need is big. Yeah. Because if that food is not something that is going to help my body get to the point where it is healthy, then let's look at, we do have choices, so let's look at something else. And I don't ever take something away, by the way, without replacing it.
I agree with
that's
that entirely.
insane. Oh, you can't have that.
By the way, that's the only thing you're going to think about now because
I know,
you can't
right?
have it.
You can't
Do
have
it,
it. You
don't
can't
do
have it. But I'm telling you, it's not
No.
it's not what Oprah says either. You can't have everything. I'm so sorry. No, I can't have bread. So what I've done is replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I am very determined is a great word to change my health. And it's because of that determination I've been able to not do it.
Yeah.
And to make other choices, not necessarily, better. I don't like that word either, but just a different choice.
Different choice.
Yeah.
A different priority.
It's a different priority. Yeah. And it really is. And we've talked about this individualization and coming up with a plan to help you get. And so, what if it is anxious, anxiety? What if it is depression? Been there, done that. So I work with people with that as well, and we do journaling. I do the same journaling that I do for my students at University of Richmond. And just making little tiny suggestions, something as simple as a little sleep mask that has the magnets in it, was able to help me get into a parasympathetic state.
Yeah.
Parasympathetic means that my body's relaxing and it's repairing. And it's not in a constant sympathetic state of breaking down.
Right. Yes. So rebuilding versus breaking down.
Right. And we do have to break down to build back up. That's how the bones work, by the way.
Right. Consistently and every day.
You do. But at that point where I was at 14, I wasn't able to exercise. So getting me to a better place that I didn't have so much inflammation and discomfort was my first order of business. Then I was able to gradually get back into yoga, which I love.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to go back in the studio with anybody at this point because of my challenge, but I am doing it at home right now, and that's better than not doing any steps, the little steps. Yeah, I'm getting there.
It's a process. Yeah. And it's patience.
A lot of
Doing
patience.
what you can.
My mom used to say, you have to cultivate patience. Well, at the time she told me that many years ago, I still, what does that mean?
What do we need that for?
I understand what cultivate means now. You just have to work at it, and be patient.
Yeah.
And what I do is I celebrate the tiniest of tiny steps that I've made. I don't care how small it is, I celebrate.
That's huge. That's focus. That's focusing on the wins versus the, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And if we're focusing, wherever our mind goes, it's like a camera. That's what develops. If whatever we're picturing is what's going to develop more. So if we're picturing, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do the housework. How good does that feel, and how much do you not want to do anything anymore? But if you picture on this over here, oh my God, I was able to do that today. I felt really great.
I celebrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
leave it at that. Like, it's not like, maybe I can do more tomorrow, but just like a thank you. I can do this. I did this.
I celebrated that I could actually hold I can't think of what it is now, the plank for 20 counts today.
That's awesome.
I celebrated that because, before I couldn't even hold 5 or 3.
Yeah.
And I was shaking like a little leaf. So
that's good stuff. So that's 3 things that we've got for you guys for this video. We had number 1. Okay, so I want to get healthy, but number 1, I don't know where to start. Okay, doesn't have to be complicated. Start exactly from where you are. Number 2, it doesn't feel good, or I already hurt. Went through that.
Been there, and I definitely can help you with that. Yep.
Number 3 is it's too hard. Doesn't have to be. No. Don't make it too complicated. Start with baby steps. Start with where you are. Talk to a coach. Find somebody that you resonate with. Find somebody that has maybe a similar situation that you've been dealing with. And just try something. Try something rather than just thinking about it or mulling it over or feeling guilty about it or allowing anything negative to fester. Don't focus on the fact that you maybe haven't done anything about it. Focus on the fact that you can. And you just did because you watched this video.
You'll beat yourself up.
So you've done one thing. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. Find your wins. So we will talk with you soon. All of our contact information will be here within the post, so reach out to us if we can be of help to you. This is Lisa Hazelgrove with lisahealthy.com, Aubrey Eicher with Richmond Wellness, and all my stuff will be here, so you'll find it. So we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.